everyone. Sorry, running a little bit late, like always. I feel like I say that every single week. But, hello. Hopefully you'll be seeing a little bit higher quality. We should be streaming in at least 1440, if not 4K, depending on whether or not YouTube and the others can keep up with us. So.
Yeah, get it together, YouTube.
Get it together, YouTube. So, just kidding. We love you, YouTube. Not a lot to talk about today other than we have it scheduled for 3 weeks from now. The 26th of May will be our next in-person session at Stream Dad Studios. So mark that on your calendar, 6:30 on that Friday. Yeah. Other than that, like and subscribe. YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Twitch, Kick, Trovo, everything. Also, sorry if you're like the one person who watches us on Kick. Kick seems to not be working tonight, so we are not on Kick tonight. And I guess you probably wouldn't know that considering you can't see us. But anyway.
Kick rocks.
Is that it? Is there anything else that I'm missing? No? All right, Sam, do the thing.
The thing this week. So last session, the party, we all took a trip into Conticaria to bide our time until we heard whether the resurrection was successful or not. Arnon was finally able to retrieve an item he ordered over an in-game month ago, which as long as it's been 2 months total. That's how long it's been. Elric received a message that the resurrection was a success, and we met back up to transport Beatrice to Torchiv. The party found Gwen alive but weak and with no memory of what happened to her or her soul's stint in hell. She's given a bit of a rundown, including the fact that Hugh was Tativolus and took back what was his before assuming the place of the King of Shan. While the rest of the party stayed with Gwen, Elric told Calliope about Casil and that he's still in Dis. He also made a formal invitation to Orpheus to join the party, and we also got to see Arnon venture off to investigate the Chantry on his own. We ended the session with Butch divining once again for some answers regarding Gwen. And that's where we left off.
Fantastic. And that is where we will pick up. We will go ahead and move forward to the next morning. You all find your rest. Pretty easy in the town. This is the first rest you've had in quite a while where you're not feeling the constant threat of imminent death and danger from all sides, being in the safety of the town. Next morning comes fairly clear skies, slight, partially cloudy, crisp morning rolling into fall. What would you all like to do?
Well, I'm actually going to go out in the middle of the night. And, yeah, after I get my 4 hours of good meditation in.
Fantastic.
Go out to that address I found and just kind of like watch it from across the street.
Okay, go ahead and make a perception check.
That's a 13.
13? The fun thing about orphanages, don't really do a lot in the middle of the night.
I
do notice.
Figure they would.
You do notice occasionally like a torch light kind of, or candle light of some sort, kind of traveling through the windows. Looks like somebody kind of walking around inside, but what you do see building wise, you do see this somewhat larger 2-story building. From the front, you see about 6 windows across. The whole building itself is probably a good size, probably about 50 feet wide. Not really sure how deep it goes set back. There's a nice little, like, almost gated lawn area in the front, and you do see some things littered around, like balls and stuff kind of littered around the yard in the front.
While I'm just kind of watching, I'm gonna kind of like reach out with my senses. Is my brand still there?
Your brand, which, let's see, where were you at that point? That was at least a week. Hell, how long was that? That was probably 2 weeks ago, wasn't it?
How long did it take us to travel on foot to Sochev?
Is this the
It
brand
was like
on
3 or 4
this
days.
X?
Yes.
We're
Yeah.
talking about?
So yeah, a week and a half at least.
Yeah. It seems to be pretty far away, and it seems to be coming from like the southwest, and you can't quite measure a distance, but it's definitely quite
It's
a
still
ways
there.
away. It is still there.
It's been almost 3 weeks.
It's been almost 3 weeks. Okay.
Oh my.
So yeah,
22nd of the previous month.
yeah. So
Way
yeah,
to the
it's
southwest.
way to the southwest. At this point, it's probably curving.
Straight on the horizon, or like
It's probably curving more west than southwest. And
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Maybe like four or 5 in the morning. And I'll kind of like walk around and like case the entrances
Of the town?
of the orphanage.
Okay. You notice there's one large wooden double door in the front. There is an alley that runs around the back of the building, where you do see kind of like a couple piles of refuse and trash kind of strewn out in the back. You see a small little like drainage ditch off to the side with a small little water trickle of water running through. You do see a small like single door on the back, but it does have a barred door and then the wooden door behind it.
So it's barred from the inside.
Yeah,
Or
it's like
just security bars.
like security bars. Like
No. I'm the bard, but I'm on the outside.
giggity. Now, like you know,
Looking
like
in.
like what you see first floor New York apartments, you get the barred security door and then the almost like a screen door, and then you have the wooden door behind it.
I'm the bard security door.
Yeah, you are.
I'm gonna approach it. Is it locked?
Yeah, it is locked.
Okay. Was there any pattern to those torches on the inside?
Didn't really seem to be a pattern. Just occasionally, like, you would see a torch kind of wander through.
In the front, was there like a donations box or mailbox or anything like that?
Yeah, you did see a mailbox right next to the front gate.
Mailbox? Okay. I'm gonna check the lock. Does it look simple or?
Make an investigation check.
$28.
I mean, it's a fairly simple lock. I mean, there's definitely not a lot of money that's gone into this security system.
How big of a building is this?
It's a fairly decent size. Like I said, you're probably looking at probably 50 feet across from side to side. After walking around it, it's basically just a big square 50 by 50. Like you could imagine inside, and it is 2 stories. So you can imagine inside, you're probably looking at on the top floor, if it was evenly split between bedrooms, you're probably looking at about 10 bedrooms, 10 small rooms, or
I'm going to try to break in and pick the lock.
You're going to pick the lock. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make a lock pick. Or thieves' tools, whatever.
32.
Not a problem. Pick the lock.
All right. I'm going to sneak in and I'm going to look for an office.
Are you
on the first floor?
I'm assuming you're stealthing, so
yes.
Go ahead and roll stealth.
And I've got my cloak on, so natural 20 for 33.
Okay, yeah, fantastic.
I wonder if it worked.
So you
Do you think that was a good one? I don't know.
you slip in and you slip into this back door and you enter into a kitchen area. You do see kind of a large kitchen island, and then to this across from you, you see quite a few pantries and shelves with small stacks of what you can imagine is, vegetables, grains, stuff like that.
Is it well stocked or is it sparse?
It looks pretty well stocked, at least for this time. You look out over to the left and you see a large, stove, like stone stove area. And then across from you, you do see, like in the middle of the wall across from you, you do see a door that heads the opposite way.
Okay. I'm going to go out that way. Like I said, I'm searching the first floor for like an office.
All right. So
administration room.
You walk out that door and it enters a small hallway that's probably, between 10 and 15 feet long, maybe 5 feet wide. You do see a door on the right-hand side, as well as 2 doors on the left-hand side.
Can I tell which side would be towards the front of the building?
Straight ahead.
Okay, I'll go up there. Said I'm looking for an office, which I figure would be like near the front entrance or something, administrative.
So if you continue past these doors, the hallway actually opens into kind of a larger, like common area style room. You do notice in this room, there's like a large oval rug on the floor. This room takes up the majority of this floor. You see quite a few tables sitting out. Look like dining tables, like long rectangular dining tables, set in rows, very commons cafeteria style. You see a staircase on the left wall, and then across from you see a door on the opposite wall from you. You look up and you see a small hallway, kind of more to the right, and then slightly off center to the left, you see another door.
I'll check that door.
All right. Are you checking for just to see if it's locked, or are you doing something to it?
I'm looking for an office.
Right. So you walk up to that door, and it doesn't open. It is locked.
Okay. I'll try down the little hallway then.
You get down the little hallway and you see it opens up into another slightly smaller room. And you do see the front double doors there, and then kind of a large rectangular carpet in the middle, a couple small tables along the sides. You do see some artwork, paintings of different, all along the walls in there. You do see a couple lanterns hanging on the wall, dimly lit, but like oil lanterns that are turned down. They are casting a small bit of light. You see a total of 4, 2 on the front wall across from you, and then 1 on either side.
The lights or doors?
Yeah, the lanterns.
Okay. I'll go back to that locked door and try to pick it.
Go ahead and make me a perception check as well while you're in there.
Okay. 25 perception.
So you are hearing footsteps above you at this point. You are hearing what sounds like one set of footsteps kind of
Heavy
walking.
or light?
Lighter than what you're used to. I mean, it definitely sounds more like it's not armored by any means. It's a more softer footprint or footfall, but you are hearing the boards creaking as they are walking from one side to the other.
30 on the lockpick.
Yeah, without a problem, you just pop this lock open.
And I'm just peeking in. Is it the office I'm looking for?
It does appear to be an actual storage room in there.
Storage
You
room?
see quite a bit of clothing and linens and bedclothes and stuff like that in there.
I'm relocking doors when I leave, so I'll relock that one and go back towards the back of the building and check those other doors.
Okay, so
Again, I'm looking for an office.
From this angle, you have 2 doors on your right side and 1 door on your left.
And that would just be either side of the building, not front and back.
Correct.
I'll try the one to the left.
The
I'm
one
not
to the
going up
left,
stairs.
that door is locked.
I'll pick it.
All right, go ahead.
Fuck. It's like a game show.
Jesus.
33.
Yeah, without a problem. Pick the lock, slide open. This does appear to be an office.
Okay. How many desks?
2 desks, 1 on each side.
Does it look like one of them is in charge, or they're...
You can't really see anything that would determine which one had like more power over the other one. It's literally just 2 matching desks.
It's not like supervisor and secretary. It's not like obvious like
it's
that. Okay.
two desks opposite each other, both facing the wall. So the 2 people who would be sitting there would have their backs to each other.
Yeah, but one of the desks
That's
has
really
to be in
depressing.
charge.
They don't seem like they get along.
There any nameplates or anything like that to indicate?
Make another perception roll.
Sir Reginald?
Because they like don't remember whose desk is whose because there's
Yeah,
so many people in
exactly.
their office.
I'm looking for somebody in charge.
You don't know. You don't
Griselda?
see any nameplates or anything.
Remote.
Yeah, obviously. I
It's too
No
bad
business
Arnon
cards.
just doesn't
myself
have
with my
time
letter
to
opener.
search both
Do they have a
desks.
Rolodex? Whatever the fantasy equivalent of a Rolodex is?
Oh,
I want that.
Well, I got a
we're
natural
too young
one,
to
so
know what a
I'm not-
Rolodex are.
not
So like,
finding anything.
Hey, we had a Rolodex.
I'll go back to those 2 doors on the other side and see if there's anything there.
Those
but
are
I'll leave
not-
this door unlocked.
Yeah, okay, so those 2 are not locked. You peek open one and you see a privy, a bathroom.
Okay.
You look in the other one, it's another one.
Okay. I'll go back to the office I found.
All right. You do
And,
notice at this point you hear those footfalls start to come down the steps.
Okay. I will. I've got a package I made in my pocket. I'm going to randomly pick one of the two desks, and I'm going to set that right in the middle, and then I'm going to move
Fantastic.
out towards the back. I'm going to try to relock the door on my way out.
All right.
Both of them.
Without a problem. So yeah, you sneak out, go out the back, right as you're closing the one door and clicking it locked, you hear the kitchen door, and through the couple windows you do see a faint candlelight entering the kitchen right as you snap the door shut.
So what I left him is a piece of regular parchment wrapped up around 20 gold, and written inside it says, "For the children," and then "I'm watching." And then I've used my black seal and my new seal that I just got with the 2 wings to seal it.
Fantastic. All right. Is there anything else you're doing, or are you just going back?
I'll just go back.
All right.
You're like
So as you,
Batman Robin Hood.
yeah, Batman Robin Hood.
I'm so excited.
So as you continue back to and head back to the tavern or the barracks that you stayed in, Butch, you are still asleep. I think he's frozen, either that or he's really intent on pushing those glasses up. This is fantastic. Butch, can you hear us?
Mine's not frozen that way. Mine has 2 little purple
He's like
Really?
this on my screen.
squares.
Yeah.
That's what he's got on mine.
Yeah.
Here, in solidarity.
All right.
Oh, he just moved a little bit.
Did he?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
it's hard
no.
for turtles to wear glasses. They don't have noses.
Slow and steady wins the race, guys.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Oh, boy.
So,
So you guys come here often?
yeah.
Yeah. About once a week?
This technical difficulty brought to you by Turtle Wax.
Yeah.
Once a week, sometimes twice.
We, if you would like to sponsor one of our technical difficulties, we would gladly read your advertisement while Butch is frozen.
Which technical difficulty you'd like to sponsor? We have many available.
Exactly.
I've had some inquiry about our Patreon, which is being set up.
Yes,
so
Patreon.
everybody knows.
That is an announcement that our Patreon will be up and running soon. We are finalizing the tiers as we speak. Well, not
Yeah.
currently as we speak, but all right. Well,
Right here.
yeah,
Finalizing.
right here. Okay. Well, we're going to continue, and hopefully Butch can hear us. Otherwise, I might be giving him the Cliff Notes version in a minute. So, since he is like hardcore frozen.
He's typing.
Yeah.
He crashed.
Oh, his disc. Yep, there he goes. Okay, everyone bear. Oh, wait. Perry, can you hear
There he
us?
is.
Can you hear us? Okay, we can't hear you, but you can hear us. So, Butch. Oh, wait. Did he freeze again?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
God damn it. It's got to be him right when I. Oh, his laptop's
Oh,
rebooting.
that must have been a lag from before its crash.
Yeah. So bear with us. Our whole. Oh, wait, no. Our whole
Understood.
display was probably going to get fucked up here in a second once Perry drops. But we'll get to this later. So, next morning comes. Everyone wakes up. The day is yours. Except for Butch. Butch is frozen. Butch
I don't know if
drank-
this will make a noise, but I'm gonna do my long rest to recover my spell slots.
Yes, you should.
Yeah, I need to do it for my hit dice.
Oh, Perry. Are you there?
I think we're still in the lag.
We're still in the lag spike?
He said he's rebooting his laptop, so.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's still in the lag spike.
This is incredible.
So, yeah, everybody go ahead and take your long
we're going
rest.
back in time.
Yeah,
with
this
Perry.
is fantastic.
This is what
Portals in
Perry was
time?
living 2
Portals
minutes
in
ago.
time. No. Man. Oh. Is this really still his?
I think it might be.
Yep, because he just
There
dropped.
he goes.
Wait. Perry. Hi!
Hi.
Are you actually back now?
Can you hear me?
Yes. You're really quiet, but we can hear you.
Good thing I'm using 2 laptops.
Oh my God. All right. So, what I was saying before you completely died, as Arnon returns back, Butch, you are still sleeping.
That's good.
So, as you are sleeping, suddenly, you find yourself standing in a field outside of a city gate. Desolation in front of you. A loud screech pierces the silence as the sound of wings flapping in the distance.
Oh, it's not a high school student?
No.
That's good.
A large black shadow blots out the sun. The ground begins to shake. You turn your gaze towards the horizon, and out of the mist, you see thousands of humanoids. Humanoid figures rushing towards you. As they approach, you notice that this is an army of Illithid, of Mind Flayers. As they come crashing down on you, you raise your hammer. As you see hundreds barreling down on you, you swing your hammer right as 5 of them grab you and start pulling you towards the ground. Before they completely blot out your vision, the last thing you see is a large black dragon fly overhead as their faces engulf you and you wake up.
Did the dream inform me the dragon was on their side or on my side?
It came from the same direction that they came from.
Okay. Not great.
Yeah, it came towards
In the
you.
middle of the night or in the morning? Or
It's pretty close to morning. I'd say after your long rest is completed.
Does he recognize the dragon? Being from Mesh, is it that dragon? Like, would he know?
I would recognize that dragon.
You would recognize that. You would recognize that dragon. Make a perception check, since since first off it was a dream, second off you were being covered by thousands of mind flayers.
Okay.
Like World War Z style?
Yeah, kinda.
18?
With an 18, it's very possible, but there was something very, very different about this dragon.
Okay.
It seemed very familiar, but there were aspects of it that were changed, whether or not that was because it was a dream and your mind was playing tricks and changing things, or if there was something different that has happened to this dragon, you're not quite sure.
Okay.
But you wake up. The sun is starting to crest over the horizon. And the day is all of yours. What would you like to do?
Go to the breakfast.
Gwen, by the way, you are now at a -3.
Oh shit, yeah. I'm gonna take my -3 to breakfast.
Hey, does anyone know how to unmaximize a window on a Mac?
You throw it in the garbage and buy a PC.
I know.
There's
Isn't there like a yellow button?
Yeah, and there's these little guys.
If you move the mouse up to the top left corner, the bar should pop up, and then you hit the
Okay,
little
thank
green
you.
button.
Oh my god. I hate this. Thank you.
Yeah. So, are you all meeting for breakfast? Was that the plan?
Yes, I'll join.
All right. So,
Gwen needs to meet Orpheus.
Yeah.
the 6 of you meet up. Elric, oddly enough, not there. Maybe he overslept. Maybe he had some stuff to do. Not sure. But the 6 of you meet up at your usual tavern. You see quite a few patrons. Place is fairly busy at this point. A lot of soldiers, a few commoners. Most tables are full, but you do find one in the corner. And as soon as you pull up, this young, probably, well, young for her, probably in her like 60s or 70s, elven woman walks up, says, "Hi, what can I get you all?"
Does Gwen look normal at this point?
I mean, yeah, she looks
Doesn't
like,
have like sunken eyes and look vampirish or anything.
I
She just
mean,
looks
no,
normal,
she
tired,
looks
maybe.
normal. She just looks like she's had a rough couple weeks. Might look a little strung out, but I mean,
Normal. Got it.
yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay.
Question in the chat. Elric will be here probably in another hour. He is in his tech rehearsal for a play that he is in.
We'll be here soon.
Anyway,
Hey, on this new foundry, where can you see how many hit dice you have? Do you know what tab that's on?
I don't, but I'll figure it out.
Okay. Don't spend.
Oh,
any time.
it's the circle that says 5 next to your health bar.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
because
Yeah, thank
you recoup half of them on your long rest.
Yeah, that's why I knew I was way down, but
Yeah.
thank you.
Yep. All right. Anyway, what are you guys doing?
I'll take whatever the soup of the day is.
Gonna
Okay.
ask for a mushroom omelet.
I'll have the same.
The soup du jour. What is that?
That sounds nice. I'll have that.
All right. So you all order your food. Okay. Give me a minute. I'll be right out with it. Walks off towards the back.
I'm gonna look at Orpheus and say, so you helped. Did anybody tell me his name?
Yeah.
I think Butch did last episode.
Okay. So you're Orpheus, eh?
Yep. I
Well-
assume you are Gwen.
Yeah.
You have some good friends, Gwen.
I do. I believe it. What do
How are you feeling?
I'm fine. Ready to get back to normal.
Do you have any memory of your time in hell?
No. Which is good, I guess.
It's probably for the better.
Yeah, I'm curious, I guess, but also I don't know how much, I need to know. Maybe I don't. Maybe I can just put this away. Put it in the little, put it in the box and then put it in my robe and then just pretend it didn't happen and then just move on to the next thing, right? That's fine.
What's the last thing that you do remember?
Being a raccoon with Arnon. And then a wagon toppled over on a road.
Gwen,
And that's
it's at this point where now you've been awake for a little less than a day. And when Rhett asks you that question, you get this flash in your mind of Hugh stepping out of the back of the wagon, clapping. Then you
Is
just
he clapping with his hands?
yes, with his hands. Then you just get this
like I had a weirdest dream.
extreme close up of his face and this grin. And
So
then
sad
back
that
to
my
normal.
laughs don't get picked up because there are a lot of things that are funny that happen on this video, and they should be noticed.
So, does that like hit me as I'm explaining
Yes.
what I remember?
Yes, it does.
So I think as that hits, it's just freeze in the flight or fight response. It's just a fucking freeze. And I think she's gonna feel around in her robes and kind of stare off in the distance and find the sending stone from Hugh. And then just put it on the table.
When you put it on the table, you notice something different about the sending stone. Instead of the kind of brownish stone with the little face on the front of it, you pull out a black rock and set it on the table.
Is it broken? Do I get the indication that it's broken, or is
You
it different
get
now?
the indication that you now have just a plain rock.
I still don't want it, so I'm gonna leave it on the table.
You want me to chuck
I
it?
don't- Yeah. Don't hit anybody.
Which will scoop it off the table and walk out of the building. Then chuck it as far as he can.
Make an athletics check.
But Brett, you do see, you hear me explain up to something toppled over on the road, and then me freeze and do that, and that's because
Oh, that shit's gone.
horrifying.
You just killed somebody outside.
Outside, you hear the breaking of glass and a ow!
Oh no!
What's it with you throwing shit out windows at people?
I
All right, I'm going to go help whoever I hurt.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was a glitch. Okay.
It's a couple minutes go by and the server comes back with all of your food and kind of spreads it out on the table. Anything else you guys need, or are you good now? For now, I should say.
Do we want anything new in the jug?
Mayonnaise.
Ugh! What? Why specifically?
It's
mayonnaise?
because it's an option. It says it in the book and on the
Yeah.
character card. You can choose it to be filled with mayonnaise.
Oh, I think it said Marmite.
I mean, I guess. Anyway,
Is there anything new we want in the jug?
What's
That,
the joke?
but not mayonnaise?
Can that make ketchup? There's just European fry topics.
You know, my stomach is still not great right now, so could we like not talk about renewable condiments in a jug?
So no sweet
Renewable
relish.
jug condiments?
Ew.
As long as it's not like the unsweetened ketchup that they make overseas.
All right, I think you're literally about to make Lindsay puke.
Okay, so anyways, I started shooting. Just kidding.
Oh no!
Orpheus says, "Go ahead and get some mayonnaise in my soup, please."
All right, Butch is gonna go cast a spell to heal or do a medicine check on whoever he injured.
You just see
I
this.
thought you were gonna do a medicine check on my stomach. I'm like, buddy, in real life, that's really not gonna help me.
I played a cleric once,
Butch.
so I know what to do.
Butch, roll me a d20 real quick.
Okay, boss.
0 to 5, this person was already borderline racist against turtles, and you just
17.
With a
Off the
17,
edge.
you walk outside and you see this stoic elven figure holding his forehead, and he looks up and you see Hymir standing there.
You hit Hymir?
Says,
Sir, are you all right?
Is this yours?
No, sir, it is not.
look behind him on the ground. Is there a stick?
Wait, hold
Knock the
on.
stick
Is
out.
he
He's
really
close with-
lying to Hymir? Hold
He's close
up.
with Gwen, right?
Technically his, though. It wasn't lying.
Technically Gwen's.
Technically, it was Gwen's, I
If it's
guess.
Gwen's, he'll let him off the hook.
Technically right.
I'm gonna
It's the
cast
best
a
kind.
cure light. Cause dang. Or I'm sorry, cure wounds. Sorry, I'm still living in old edition
I knew what you meant.
because I'm old.
To which Hymir kind of like straightens himself up again and says, I appreciate that. I was just on my way to grab some breakfast.
I wonder if my food's arrived yet. Want to join us? Sir? Would you like to join us, sir?
By all means. I appreciate the offer. Kind of gestures you into
Welcome to the table.
the tavern, comes and has a seat next to all of you.
As I'm walking with Heimer, I'd like to broach the topic of possibly hallowing the temple.
Hallowing the temple.
Well, I suppose I should ask, out of character, is the temple already hallowed? Does it have a hallowed effect?
Gosh,
I
totally misheard that.
Yeah. Explain to me what that does.
Well, it's a spell I just got.
Really?
It looks amazing.
Is it?
It takes
called
24
Hallow?
hours to cast.
Is it called Hallow? Oh, it is called Hallow.
Yeah, it's called Hallow. It's a permanent effect, and it grants the sacred space a permanent, benefit.
To which he says, I don't believe this temple here has been. It's fairly small and not a regularly visited temple, as there are very few followers of Sehanin in this town. But I believe it would be something that would be greatly appreciated if that is something that you would like to spend your time doing.
Well, this temple, through the power of Sunny Mumbo, did bring back Gwen, so
As it did.
it's something that I would like to do.
Well, you have my blessing, and I can guarantee you would have the denizens of the temple's blessing as well.
That is wonderful. I will have to see about getting the materials.
Fantastic. And I'm
Thanks, sir.
sure if you need any assistance with that, let me know, and I will reach out, and I'm sure I can procure the required materials.
I will describe to him the required materials, which come to about 1,000 gold's worth.
Yeah, he easily writes that down. And what you actually see is him write this list down. He waves his hand, and you see a small raven appear, flutter through the window. He hands the notes, kind of wraps it around the leg of the raven, whispers something in the raven's ear, and it flies off. Says, those materials will be delivered to the temple by this afternoon.
Thank you, sir.
I am not saying you need to start this ritual immediately. I just, when you are ready, the materials will be available.
Misconceptions I have about the world, number 42 from D&D. Incense is really useful.
To which,
So out of character, did Butch tell us about his dream?
not yet, no.
No,
Okay.
I was
Throwing rocks at people.
doing my best to not interrupt.
At this point, Hymir kind of waves over the server and kind of whispers an order, and she walks off.
You get a mushroom omelet.
You'll have to find out.
As long as it's not boiled raven.
Oh, God. Ew.
I know, roasted
This
with
is,
vegetables.
this is a really
Much better.
weird food episode, and at this point, it feels personal.
No.
Sorry, Butch and food. It's, yeah, sorry.
You know, there's like 2 Game of Thrones cookbooks. I would like to see ours.
Oh,
At least
God.
one.
By the way, totally unrelated, but there's a show called Lords and Ladles, I think it is, about like ancient medieval recipes at these big castles that these, high power people in the Middle Ages would eat. And everything is fat. It's like Jello just made
Why
out
do you
of
think-
straight fat.
why do
And
you
it's
think
like
gout was
chicken
a thing?
stuffed in fish, stuffed in pork, stuffed in
Oh my
cow.
God.
No.
It's
It's a-
Okay, let's stop before
Someone-
Lindsay actually loses it.
when you're healthy, Lindsay. You should watch
Yeah.
an episode.
Anyway, so
Butch is delighted that his food has arrived.
yes.
That might be why
tucks in.
why the jug can make that mayonnaise, because they were being historically accurate.
Scott, stop.
So, Gwen's going to ask, suddenly without an appetite. Not suddenly, it's very obvious without an appetite, but, so Hugh's not Hugh, huh?
Turns out
Also
Hugh
my dad.
was not Hugh Munn.
At least for most of the time we knew him.
You're saying he wasn't Hugh for most of the time?
I don't know if Hugh was a real person at some point in time, but the Hugh that we knew was probably never Hugh.
I still don't like his name. It's like he's a color.
I mean, I doubt Titivulus was like traveling to different planes and running a carnival. Well, we did run into that one flyer, so maybe Hugh was a real person at some point.
All right, so I have questions. Gwen, I hate to ask this of you right now, since I see you're not touching your food. Did evil, I'm surprised not human, ringmaster circus man ever communicate to you that there were others that followed him?
Yes.
Okay. Do we think he was lying? Are there others that have been deceived as you were? Do they need rescued?
He had a whole for one thing. And maybe the others weren't as annoying as I was, because that seems to be what I do. But
No, you
I
were
did
never
mention-
annoying. You just failed to be as evil as he wanted you to be.
fair, I suppose. I did mention to him once that, you know, what the deal was. Like, is he going to be there to answer questions? And if I remember correctly, he didn't really say that that's how it worked, and that there would be, he had other things to attend to. So I'm assuming there are other people, or there are other people that were like how I was, that are like how I was.
Well, I know we've got too much on our plate right now with the war and the missing dragon. And I had a bad dream last night about the dragon. So
Our
probably
dragon?
can't focus on a cult that may or may not exist worshiping a demon that they think is actually some guy.
To which Hymir says, "You had a dream of dark water? Please explain."
Yeah, I'm running out of beer. There were a lot of thank you.
It's kind of clear. And then I was like, no.
I was overrun by those squid heads. And then I think as supporting cover fire, I saw a dragon that I'm pretty sure was dark water. So I think they're in the process of brainwashing him or bribing, converting, doing something to him to turn him against us, to turn him against his own people.
That is quite disturbing, especially since you have a history of having slightly prophetic dreams.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm sorry, did he say squid head?
They're called
Flares.
right that the brain eaters.
This is new. I just point to my head. This is
Really,
actually
though,
new.
The
Got
whole
running with
thing's
them
new.
a couple months ago.
Yeah, this is
I guess
this is a new
technically-
bottle. I upgraded. This is
Yeah.
the iBrain 6.
I think-
like
Yeah, but this they eat.
Arnon, you call them something special like illiquids or
Illithid.
illicits?
Illithid.
Illithid, that is the true name of their people. Mind Flayer
Oh, well,
is
let's
more
not say
of,
that then.
Mind Flayer is
Maybe
more of
Ellen.
a moniker, a name given to them by those who have come across
Do
them
you
in
think-
combat.
They like.
Do they
beer
worship
more.
Illith?
I don't believe so.
They go to Illith Fair, though.
God damn it.
Are these things
2
sentient?
weeks in a
Are
row.
they self-aware?
They seem to be.
To-
Maybe they communicate.
To an extent, they rely on a hive mind, but they do not act independently. However, they are still considered sentient and self-aware. They just share a network of intellect.
They totally suck, too.
Oh, Arnon. Okay, so Illith Fair, to go there, you'd have to be pretty brain dead.
you guys are dicks.
I think this is a give Red a break night, and nobody got the memo.
Or
We've moved on from gross foods.
you wouldn't go there if you had half a brain. No.
So
Lilith Fair references part 2.
I was 12.
And I'm a bitch.
Oh my god.
Yes, but you're our. I can't bring myself to say it at breakfast. Gwen, I communicated with the Lunar Lady last night.
how'd that go?
I asked her some questions, including the one that you asked me to ask.
And
Fortunately, my laptop shut that window, so I'm going to find the answers here. You had asked if you were whole. She
Yeah.
told me that you are. You're whole.
Nice. It's a comfort.
I asked her if how to put it delicately.
You don't have to put it delicately.
I asked her if your brain was created by her divine power, and she said it was.
Stunning. 2 for 2, huh?
And I asked her if you are free of evil dark ringmaster jerk, I'm really not human guy. And she said yes.
That's straightforward, huh? All right.
I'm guessing I got straightforward answers because she knew I would be getting terrible, awful, headachy visions later that night.
Strike a balance, I guess, right?
Yes, she does like the balance.
Which is quite a blessing from your goddess. I don't know too many deities that would do so without strings attached. Do you think there may be consequences that Gwen may need to be aware of?
I suspect the price has been paid already by us entering hell and rescuing her. Though I may be confused as to what strings you might be referring to. I mean, I've pledged my life to serve her, so I suppose those are strings. I'm sorry. I should thank you again for everything that you've done to help us accomplish the mission and get back Gwen.
Of course. I didn't mean to offend your goddess or your faith.
No, it's just it's early. I haven't had enough beer, and I don't think I fully understood the question.
This is like an interview. Like, where do you see yourself in 5 years, Orpheus?
Did
Well,
he
I was thinking
provide his
about opening a
resume in
small
advance?
gym.
Jim, that's a human name, right?
Yeah.
I think you can open a... Well, I guess you can. I wouldn't. You have to close them back up. Why in 5 years, though?
I mean, I guess that just depends on what side of the war he's on.
Jim? Was that a joke, Hymir?
To which, for the first time since meeting him, you notice Hymir, crack a smile.
Wait, are you implying that Jim is a person and we're going to split him open with an axe?
Is he within reach of Gwen? Nightmare?
Yeah, he would have sat down next to you.
I just want to put my hand over his head and then maybe like poke his arms just to make sure it's not somebody else pretending to be him.
He just kind of like looks at you oddly.
I'm just... I like it. This is all real strange, and I just want to make sure you're not somebody taller and funnier in an illusion. That's not what I meant.
Funny thing is, when you rub your hand over his head, a hat falls off. No, I'm just kidding.
I swear. I'm out. Goodbye. Nice to know you.
And that's when Elric makes his appearance.
No.
Just throw up. It's fine.
I assure you, I'm who I am. I am. God damn it.
Right. Well,
I mean,
Popeye.
what I
So
am?
apparently,
lie.
I am who I
he's
am,
been
and that's all that I
Popeye
am.
the entire time.
I joke, therefore I am.
Do you also mean what you say and say what you mean?
Most of the time.
Has anybody seen Elric this morning?
I believe.
Was he drinking heavily last night?
I believe he had a visitor last
What?
night.
Oh,
Mm.
Wait,
Like
I thought she was in
a
the other city.
visitor?
No. She is still here.
Good on him.
So, all of you, why don't you tell me about this lady?
She struck
She's
some of us with
shocking.
lightning once. Yeah. She's electric.
Boogie woogie woogie.
You might say that ass is lightning. Or so we've heard. Or so we've said. What?
Point is, don't surprise her.
Yeah, don't sneak into her shop.
No.
It
when
sounds like
she's
there's
not expecting you.
there's a story to all of this, which I hope you'll share with me one day.
Ironically, it involves Illithid.
Oddly enough, I believe that most of our stories coming forward will involve Illithid. I hope I'm wrong, but I get the feeling
boy.
they will come up more than they are not.
So this
Maybe.
hive mind, is there a central control? Is there a central individual that controls this hive mind?
The different cultures of Illithid, the different outposts, cities, each one is controlled by what they call the Elder Brain, which is a combination of, well, brain matter that is harvested and stores the energy of the Illithid sect.
They keep it in the control room, which is known to be the hardest fucking place to stay alive in.
Fucking control room level.
Sounds like a good place for an elephant.
Oh.
So it's like a Big Daddy brain.
Indeed. Usually it lies in a pool in a centralized, safe location within the Illithid society, a central temple. There's a brine pool that houses the Elder Brain.
When they collect brains, do they gain any of the knowledge or memories of the person they stripped?
It is not a lot is known, because unfortunately anyone who's gone through that process or has gotten that close to one of these Elder Brains typically do not make it out. So there's very little information that is known, but it is widely assumed that at least fractions of knowledge are retained from their prey.
And excuse me for being crass, but this is the creature that harvested from Gwen.
No, it was not Big Daddy brain.
No,
Right before he bit
But
in, I believe he said,
a brain.
chilled monkey brains.
It was one of the servants that human shaped.
So there's a possibility that there's compromising information about all of your tactics, your names, the important
Really?
people.
We really didn't know shit back then.
Yeah, it was real
We were
early
kind
on.
of we were kind of new to the army here.
No, you're right. They probably know all of my favorite foods, my beer preferences.
They probably
everything
have an
else Gwen knows
extensive
about me.
knowledge of finger bones. Speaking of
Yeah.
which, do any of you have mine? My bag of finger bones.
I don't think anybody took your finger bones. Somebody
was
took your
Butch.
bone dice.
If Butch took both.
Oh, okay.
I'll get out my my non-magical sack and start pulling stuff out and putting it on the table.
At the breakfast table?
Yeah?
I'm into that shit.
Sacks should be reserved for sack lunches.
Sorry. I'll put those to the side. 7 sack lunches. God, what do I have in my bag? I've got a bunch of bear traps in here. So yeah, I'll pull out various and sundry items and eventually get to it.
Thank you kindly.
Oh, I wonder where I put that sling.
Slinging sacks.
Slinging sacks.
Yeah, it was literally a sling in a sack. Yeah. If I put in another one, it'd be slings and sacks. I guess it's only one sack. Plus all the stones. I've got a bunch of sling stones in my sack. No, right now I can only find 2 of them.
Are we in the city
Yes.
where...
Oh, there's more to that question.
Yes! Where we met
Yes.
Alien and Bart?
Alien. Yes.
Right here. I'm not buying any typical clothes at this point. I need armor. If I run into Alien, I make no promises as to my reaction. So you can certainly try, I guess, is the next part of that.
Absolutely.
You all wanna go to the armor shop?
Yeah. Definitely. I'm going with Gwen to the armor shop. Actually, I don't think Butch is going to leave Gwen's side, honestly.
To which Hymir kind of looks up and says, armor might be a good idea for you.
Yeah.
Butch,
Sure.
it doesn't have to be right now, but at some point I would like a full debrief of the things that you saw during your mission.
Yes, sir.
He looks at Gwen, says, I'm not sure if you are up for the recap of what you were apparently have subjected to. I will not say that you should not be there for that conversation, but I would completely understand if you were not. If you wanted to not know what happened.
I think I've had enough of not knowing for a while. So I'd like to be there. When you debrief.
I would like the entire team there if possible, or at least the majority of the team, so I get all of the information.
Yeah, Butch's passive investigation is crap.
Is out of character, is there any kind of memorial to my regiment that died?
We'll have to discuss that a little more afterwards. I'm sure there probably is somewhere. We'll have to figure out where it is.
Okay. Disregard for now.
Okay. Well, go take care of your shopping and come find me whenever you and your team are ready to discuss what happened.
She never pops. Let's go.
Yeah, guys, I actually have a shopping list. I'm not very good with money. So
Right.
hopefully you can help me with it.
Come with us.
Yep. Let's go.
So, as you guys head out to do your shopping, we are going to go ahead and take our break because it's almost 10 o'clock. So, we will be back in probably about 5 or 10 minutes. Stick with us for this exciting shopping that's going to happen.
Shopping episode.
Yay, I fucking love shopping episodes. All right, we'll be back soon. Hi, everybody, we're back. Still no Elric yet. He is on his way. He should be here sometime soon, hopefully. So, as before we left, you all were still sitting, finishing your breakfast, and discussing heading towards shopping. So, what are you doing?
Is this where we went shopping before? Where I got the new armor and shield? Is this the same town?
Yes, I believe it is.
Why don't we head to that shop and see if they got some good stuff for
Which
Gwen?
Out of
You
Character
probably want what I have on, which is +1 studded leather.
yeah, I was gonna ask. Do you have to attune to
No,
magic armor or +1 bonus?
not +1 armor. If it's got other special stuff, maybe, but not the stuff that I have.
I need to know what I'm actually attuned to.
I think the gloves, the
And my
staff.
staff, right? Yeah.
I thought there was something else, but maybe not. Maybe,
Not that I have in my inventory.
Yeah, just the gloves and the staff. All right.
Yeah, we haven't spent money, like a significant amount of money in like a long time.
Oh, I have a list.
And but we also haven't gained a significant amount of money in a long time. So just to let you guys know, I was incorrect the last time we discussed money when I said we're at about 42,000. We're actually at 30,978 gold. Well, not gold, but like just overall, because it's
Sure.
all of the various metals combined. That's about what we're at, like to the nearest gold dollar.
That's our. If we liquefied everything, that's how much we'd have.
Sort of, because that doesn't include the gem count as money,
Okay.
but I don't count that when we're shopping.
Beautiful.
Do we have any jewels worth 1,000 gold?
Any jewels?
Yeah,
I don't think we've run into ones that much.
Okay.
No,
The-
like the miscellaneous ones and even the diamonds that we have always been described as small diamonds, but I've kept the
Okay.
diamond count separate from like miscellaneous gems. The gems that we've all gotten are worth 50 gold apiece,
Okay.
and the diamonds are equal amount to that, but we only have 5 diamonds.
The 5th level spells I now have access to, the vast majority of them have material components that are quite expensive. Like Greater Restoration uses 100 gold pieces of diamond dust per casting, for example.
But we
if
haven't
I-
really
if-
been tracking things that way, right, Nick? I mean, like,
Certain spells, yes. Anything that requires a actual significant
And it's like you need a
significant amount
feather.
of no feathers, anything like that.
Yeah.
You have spell casting focuses already, which take those components, so you don't have to worry about that. It's anything that has a monetary value. Anything that
That's
says
consumed by the spell.
correct. Anything that says,
Well-
like Revivify is $300 or 300 gold's worth of diamonds that is consumed
Now
by
that-
the spell.
That's my question. And that says worth of diamonds. Is there anyone that takes like one gem worth so much? Or could
I-
it all
I
are they
don't-
all collective like that?
Pretty sure they're collective, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
so that being said, then should we be trading in some of these gems like for diamonds? Because I think that that's probably going to be better for us if there are things that, like, you know what I mean, you guys, like, just because
Yeah.
if that's the case, then we need to get our asses some fucking diamonds. You know,
we should be making sure we have diamond dust for casting critter restoration and revivify.
we need to up our diamond drip game significantly.
If you ever want me to cast planar binding, I need a jewel worth at least 1,000 gold pieces, which is kind of crazy.
We
I don't even
have
know how many of
0
those
jewels.
exist.
We have 0 single jewels that are
Yes. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. So like we have no, and I feel like once we get there, that will be the save your soul jewel. It will yodel for us because it will be so valuable. She will play for all of the Lilith fairs for us that we encounter during our journeys.
Nick, I have a spell called Dawn.
Okay.
I'm wondering if it's possible that Sunny Moonbow has reskinned it as Moonlight.
I'm sure
just
that
wondering.
can work. I just need to look
It's
at
just
what dawn
it's just
is.
moonlight instead of sunlight. I mean, because it's still sunlight, because it's reflected off the moon. I don't know. But that requires a sunburst pendant. I was thinking maybe it could be like a crescent pendant
Sure.
worth 100 gold. Yeah, I have a list of things that would be nice.
Sure.
The least of which is a pendant worth 100 gold for casting the Dawn spell, which could be very useful against if we run across vampires in the Shadowfell. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. So where are you headed?
The
Armor,
motherfucking
right?
store.
Yeah, the
Yeah, let's
one
go to
Arnon
that.
told us about.
Yeah, where we got me and
Take
Butch's
that.
shields and Elric's.
So I believe
and-
that.
Oh
was,
yeah, your mithril plate there was
Yes.
there too.
Wait, I love that guy. Is that the guy where I brought him coffee? Because I promised him coffee and then we went back and I gave him coffee.
I don't remember whether or not that
Yeah, I
was
don't remember either.
or not. However, I believe you went to the store called
Dad would know.
the Glowing Knife. Yeah, Dad probably just watched that one.
Hey, Dad,
Plus coffee.
was this the guy that I brought coffee?
So you, the store you went to before, I believe that was the Glowing Knife.
It 100% was.
Was it? Mm-hmm. Sweet.
I'm gonna make sure that I grab a
Well-
to-go coffee. 'Cause-
The weapons were at the Tall Blade. We've got the Blue Jug General Store, the Last Mark Fletcher, the White Pot Apothecary, and the Glowing Knife was a general magic item shop.
Ah, very good.
And then Eleanor
So we're going to the Tall Blade. So we want to go to
was
Tall
at the
Blade.
Lucky Moon.
The Tall Blade. Yes.
Okay, I'm getting coffees to go for my friend.
So,
My tall blade friend.
well, you do realize that more than one person works at a store sometimes, correct?
I don't care.
And well, it's
If
been
that's
like
if it's
Start that
if it's
trend
if it's
now.
that person, I want them to know that I remember
Fantastic.
things that they want.
I love it. So,
Because that's me in life and in character. If you like things, I will remember it.
love it. So you walk into this store and you do see, well, you're familiar with the layout because you've been in there before. You do see a little halfling man behind the counter. You see a couple patrons kind of perusing. You see this little halfling with like brown curly hair, kind of pot belly, in just like basic kind of commoner clothes, like but kind of almost English professor look with like a tweed jacket over a vest and a little like white button up and these like kind of brownish slacks, kind of looking over at some
Is his name Ted Mosby?
No.
He's not the kind of guy that'll tell you to throw your book away and stand up on your desk, is he? Is that the kind of vibes he's giving off? No?
No. So you do see him kind of like one of the patrons was like looking over their shoulder and he's like, "Oh no, it's around on the other side, right over there." And as you all walk in, and he kind of looks up and he says, "Oh, hi, hello. How can I help you? What are you looking for?"
Armor and a shield and that armor and a shield, please.
Oh, is anything like what kind of armor are you looking for? You look like kind of takes a once over of you and says, "You look like kind of a magic-y fella or lady. I'm sorry."
I am a magic-y fella or lady, and I would like armor to help me if I have to get close, but generally not that close.
Well, the reason I ask, I mean, most magic-y people are more of a lighter armor, not necessarily like your buddy over here in the full metal, pointing at Orpheus.
Sounds like Dr. Evil. With freaking laser beams on their heads.
Do you want a freaking laser beam?
I want armor with a freaking
Slash Lorne Michaels. Lorne Michaels in the house. Professor Michaels.
Professor Lauren Evil.
So I was on a plane. Okay. I know that. What do you have in like the middle ground? The medium, a little above average, but not. I would like protection, but I don't want it to be like clink, 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 clink as I'm walking around.
So if you're wanting protection, but you're wanting to stay somewhat quiet, your best bet is probably to stick with something a little leather based. We do have quite a bit of
So
leather.
it's like strong enough for a man, but made for a lady. Like it's like a deodorant commercial.
I haven't heard that, but I
comes
really
out.
like it. I might
The leather
actually.
crop top. I'll punch him in the face.
What you see?
swear to God.
As soon as you put it on, it
Straight.
goes from a full size breastplate to a breastplate. Anyway,
This is not what I ordered. I want a refund.
so I would recommend something staying with almost like leather or something like that. We do have studded leather, which will give you a little bit of extra protection, but still not be very loud. So you're still going to keep that same kind of quiet feel that you mentioned going for.
Yeah.
Are you looking for just the basic, or are you looking for something a little more fancy?
Something like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
What he's got.
We do have right. Actually, back here. Let me grab you something. The stuff up there is more common, and We do have a couple enchanted pieces back here. Reaches back and comes out. He's like, I think this will be similar to what you're looking for. This will give you a little bit of a bump to your protection here. This goes for about 2,000.
Nothing.
About 2,000 gold. And this is basically out of game. It's a +1 studded leather.
Also out of game, everyone should probably tell me how much they individually have so I can add it to my general accounting.
Which has
accounting.
none?
General.
Which
accounting?
has none.
General accounting.
I don't think so. I don't think I have any.
General. I've got jack shit. I've got fingers.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you have everything.
No,
Yeah, I thought so
had,
too. Like,
I had some personal. That's where I took that 20 from.
Can you buy me a notebook so I can take notes on the shopping to give to Alric? I don't want him to miss anything.
So
he's en route.
yes.
My notes are like, went here, bought this. We were excited.
Do you have any small shields maybe that could be like affixed on a forearm and leave some hands free, but just for additional
Well, I mean, the way shields work is you kind of have to hold on to it. We don't really have anything like that'll just. I mean, you'll have it strapped up but you still have to kind of hold on to it.
Yeah, I think that's a buckler. I don't think anyone uses.
Well, no,
bucklers
even
anymore.
a buckler, has no
Yeah,
strap. It's
yeah.
just the handle.
Oh, it's just the handle.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like
No wonder no one
holding
uses them.
it's like holding a pot lid.
You guys don't have any strap-ons here?
Just the shield, just for a second.
What are you looking at me like that for?
I think
That's
that's more of an
that's
Our
a
elf
view,
thing.
different-
it's Brady Bunch, and he really is looking up at you.
That's a different store that you're looking for that.
speaking of leather, we will take
You gotta
it.
go to a different store to get a shield that straps on your arm?
The meme store.
The shield will strap on your arm just fine. It's just there's still handle that you have to hold on to.
Handles.
Just a logistics question. If Gwen did use a shield, when she's holding a shield in combat, and the only time she uses this hand other than spell casting is to catch a thing with her gloves or wield the staff, like, is there an assumption that she always has the staff in her hand, even if she's not using it?
Yes, because to interact with an object, to kind of like sheath a weapon, is an action typically.
Okay.
Rhett, you're a little different. Don't worry about that because of your fighting style. But for people who,
Cool.
yeah,
Fuck it. I don't want it. So,
That's
just the armor.
Sheathing and unsheathing a weapon was a free action.
I'll double check that. There's certain class features that make it a free action, but usually interacting with an object is an action, I believe. But I'll double check that. Anyway, are you Warcaster? Do you have the Warcaster feat?
No.
Okay, so you would need a free hand to cast spells, regardless.
Well, that's what I was wondering. Like, the only time this hand, I guess, would be occupied would be to cast spells, catch a missile, or use the Staff of Healing.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to figure out if, like, having one hand always occupied is a problem.
It would severely limit your abilities.
Okay, then just the armor.
All right, just the armor.
I do not have the Warcaster feat, but I've got my Warhammer. It's
We talked about your Warhammer at the beginning, And
Yeah.
basically that it had a strap on the end.
Yeah.
So you could drop it, but it was still kind of attached to your hand.
It hangs out.
Yeah. Is how,
It hangs tough.
if I remember correctly, we talked about that like before game, basically, that you have a wrist strap attached to your hammer. So you drop it. So you're not really sheathing it or drawing it. You're literally just like whipping your wrist around and smacking somebody with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so the answer I'm seeing is in the player handbook. You can interact with one object or feature of the environment for free during your move or your action. You could draw a weapon as part of the same action you use to attack. So yes, but if you want to interact with a second object, you need to use your action. Okay. So technically you could draw on one with your free action or as part of your action.
I mean, Gwen, you don't hardly use your weapons ever.
No, I just want just something. I don't want to. I feel like, you know how Baxi have the 9 lives? I feel like I've eaten through my 8. So
yeah.
Even though I'm not a tabaxi, but you get the idea, and just exhausting options.
How many things are you attuned to?
Just 2.
Maybe we can find some braces of armor. Oh, well, that doesn't work with leather. Never mind.
That's okay. It is all right, and I've got my gloves of missile snaring, anyways.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
all these
just
fancy fingers.
just the armor then?
You're the
Inspired by
fanciest.
that. Just the armor, please.
All right, that's 2,000.
Do you have
Okay.
anything that might be an upgrade from, say, this armor or this shield or this sword?
He kind of looks over and he says, armor and the shield, no, those are pretty much the highest quality that we sell here. What that sword seems to do some pretty decent damage. Is there something different that you're looking for, like a different type of damage or anything like that, or you just...
No, just vicious, sir.
No, we don't have anything that's more vicious.
I'm just trying to get an idea of what.
Does Arnon have a normal shield?
+2 would.
No, he has a
cost.
+1.
I'm just trying to get an idea what he would charge an upgrade to like a +2.
Unfortunately, that's not really something that we come across very often here.
This is like a newbie town.
More of a mid-level town.
Like okay.
When you say a +1, you mean
Are there
the
any-
2
are there
AC
any,
plus
like-
1 on top of that?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so 3 total.
Yeah.
Okay. I could use an upgrade if we got some extra cash to spare.
Except for druids. Druids say it's tree total.
I just have a normal shield,
giggity.
so
Yeah. Does he
Yeah,
have?
I'd like to get
+1
some
shields
armor
available?
that doesn't give me a disadvantage to stealth.
You do.
does.
You do. It's
we
just...
got it for you last time.
Yeah, it's... yeah, you have armor that doesn't give you disadvantage. I don't know if it
It's
got imported.
not in your D&D Beyond for some reason. You
Yeah.
have mithril +1.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We did do that.
We got it at the same time
Yeah,
that we
it's-
got my
it's-
armor and Butch's and Elric.
It's in your foundry. It's just not in D&D Beyond. I still have to go in and add that shit in. But you have mithril +1.
Isn't there like some things? So it's the same. There's some stuff that's in my foundry, and there's some stuff that's in my there's like.
So Foundry imports from D&D Beyond, but if I add something in Foundry, it doesn't backfill into D&D Beyond. So like most of your weapons and armors, all of yours, I added in Foundry and then forgot to put into D&D Beyond because
I can show you how to add it to your D&D Beyond when we're done.
yeah,
Okay, I do have a hard stop, but yes, that would be great
cool.
since I have to drive to Richmond.
Fun
Okay.
times. But you do you have just regular armor.
If I got a mithril shirt, I would look real pretty.
But yeah, we do have a shield that going for about 500 gold. It's the one right here. It's +1.
Well, you all are in charge of the money. You mind if I get a shield?
Hell no, I don't mind.
Sweet. Let's do it.
All right. Let me get that for you. So that's another 500 gold. Let me
Bam.
move these items. Studded leather +1. Let's see if this works. Cool. All right. Gwen, you should have your studded leather now on in there. And then Orpheus. Let me get your +1 shield. All right, cool. Hey, just what we needed. Another person with a 21 AC. All right. Those items have been added to the two of you.
Maybe it'll mean something for him.
Nope. Won't mean nothing. Does a 26 hit? How about a 27?
How about a 32?
And Emery will still be the best tank.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah, right?
That motherfucker with
For 2
shield.
rounds.
That motherfucker with shield has an AC of 27.
Oh, no.
Anyway. So. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, I can get you. Thanks for doing business. Have a great day.
Thanks.
So,
I'm just going to drink the coffee that I brought with me.
fantastic.
So it's a win-win for me.
So as you leave the tall blade, what are you doing?
I'm looking at
I assume that
Gwen's
we'll want to
leather
go to
armor.
like a magic shop, like a spell shop, right?
I mean, you could, but you don't have your wizard with you, so it wouldn't really do you much good. Your wizard is currently getting his spell on somewhere else.
By the way, earlier what I tried to do was play a clip of "Let's Get It On," but my mic wouldn't pick it up.
Copyright strike. Banned from YouTube for life.
It wasn't going to be long enough to matter. The literal 1 second tells you everything you need to know.
Dude, side note on Hit the Books podcast, like I had the tiniest little bit of the intro for the Batman Beyond theme music, and it copyright stroke like immediately caught it, no problem.
All right, so what are you doing as you leave this store?
I'm wondering how long it would take to learn to emboss.
What are you gonna emboss, Butch?
Like some mushroom motifs.
Oh, I love that. Give Butch a big ol' hug. It doesn't really feel like I've been gone for that long, but it also does at the same time.
It's felt like an eternity. Oh, hey, what's Rain doing?
Yeah, where is Rain?
Rain is, you can assume, with the general.
Blame it on the rain.
Rain wasn't forecast today.
Yeah. You can assume that Rain is with the general, as they typically are when there's any kind of strategic planning that needs to happen.
And we owe Hymir a conversation. And by we, I mean you all. About hell. Is that accurate?
One of us should probably go check in with the general as well. I think she said she was going to make her determination on what to do about this brother situation today.
Who all knows about that? Is it just Orpheus and Elric?
About
Knows
the
about what?
That
Conversation.
the conversation with Calliope about Casil.
What
I feel like Elric told.
Yeah,
I feel like Elric told everybody, but I don't remember.
Oh, did he?
I'm
Yeah, because
not
we went back
sure.
inside the temple and everything.
I don't remember.
We could go see the general.
Oh, speaking of, dun 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 dun.
Guess we better go to a spell shop, motherfuckers.
Hey, it's an Elric.
London, dun, dun, da, 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 da.
Spell shop, spell shop, spell shop.
Have a long night with your shocking lady, Mr. Elric.
Wimp, wimp,
That's canon now.
It is canon now.
I'm really trying, baby.
Elric. Last night you got a visitor.
Yeah, you did.
God damn.
And you argued all night.
Exactly.
How
You
is
thought
the
you escaped hell.
competitive Note
You just
taking?
returned to it.
Competitive note taking.
Nothing you could do was good enough.
Elric is still not with you guys, but Elric, you late at night got a knock on your door. You open the door to see Anisra standing there.
I'm here to fix the copier.
You're not here.
She, when you open the door, she looks and says,
Step Wizard.
"God damn it, I hate all of you."
That's not good for the output tray.
And that's when the hat of disguise fell off her head and a turtle was revealed.
She,
Mute them
yeah,
all.
I'm going to mute them all in about 2 seconds. God damn it.
It's all gonna just be in chat. Patreon.
Yeah.
Just put it in chat. Put it in chat.
So, she looks and says, "Oh, thank goodness. I heard you were back. I was worried when you said you were going to hell, but..." And then walks in and just embraces you and fade to black, as it were.
We're gonna fade to black with that one. Okay.
So, the rest of you just left the tall knife or whatever the fuck it was called. The tall blade. What are you deciding to do?
Well, we just discussed two possibilities. So we could either split up and do the two things, or we could all go together to do one of the two things.
We may as well all go together.
I'd like to be there for the high mirror conversation and the general conversation, and we were
General conversation?
general conversation. We were trying to decide or trying to
I
figure out
am
if you
so
told
glad that I
everybody.
started that.
I love it. We were trying to decide, Elric, if you had told us, or was it just you and Orpheus that knew about Calliope making a decision on Casil, or had you shared that with the rest of the group?
I hadn't shared that yet.
Okay.
I knew it.
Well, I have to, if
Well,
we
I
go to
shared
a,
it, so.
a spell shop, I need to go for for money purposes.
Well, he's not with you yet, so you would
Yeah,
not be
this
going
is
to a
all of you
spell
guys.
shop yet. So,
Unless you want to buy me things.
General or Hymir, which way are you going?
Jewelry store. Oh, okay.
General or high mirror or jewelry store?
So, General or Hymir, which way are you going?
Well, I assume once we go to Hymir, Butch will want to start doing his ceremony. So, does he want to do that while we're seeing the general, or does he want to do that after we've seen the general?
Well, the general's Oh.
Because it
Right.
takes 24 hours or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Probably
know
not a
what,
good
in
thing
a-
to start after halfway through the day. You need a lot of coffee.
All right, we'll go see the general.
All right. You go see the general. Elric, would you like to meet up with them at the general?
Mm,
Alric's sleeping in.
That
Elric's
breakfast
like,
in bed is real good right now.
Mhm.
He's double dipping.
I feel like I've earned it.
oh, I mean,
He's
That's up
staying
to
in
you,
for
but-
more arguments.
at this point, you're pushing noon, time-wise for you guys as you approach the central keep and where the
Noon.
general
Wait,
is.
your girlfriend's name is Noon?
Okay. Here's what I'm going to say. The general has the sending spell. She can message me.
Oh shit! All right, so
Emery going AWOL right now.
I didn't know Elric had such a rebellious streak. This is exciting.
As
Good thing
you
I
all-
don't know anything about it.
as the rest of you enter the
He
central
gets really
courtyard
excited about
and
books.
climb the steps into the war room of the central keep, there you do see Calliope standing at the foot of the table. You see Rain sitting with their feet crossed on the table, kind of leaning back in the chair on the back two legs. You see a few other high-ranking soldiers kind of scattered around the table. As soon as the doors open and you walk in, you kind of see Rain look up, kind of put their feet down. You hear the slam of the front legs of the chair. Thank God I was getting fucking bored with these assholes just fucking talking strategy and shit. Oh, hi. It's good to see you.
Brand new.
To which...
Ready to go.
What'd you say?
I said brand new. Ready to go.
There you go. To which...
Brand new.
Calliope looks up and says, I was just about to send for you. Please, come, have a seat. You all kind of walk in and do your thing. Like,
General,
yes.
would you like me to go get Elric?
I mean, I would like him to be here as well, if possible. I would like your entire team to be here.
I will go get him.
Maybe give him a call. Just in case he's indisposed.
So,
You know.
I don't
Which is
think
moving.
portals know anything of subtlety.
a couple...
So I don't think the
Fucked
sock
off
on the
already.
doorknob will work this time.
A couple minutes go by, and all of a sudden, Elric, you hear this on your door of these loud,
Strike him with
heavy.
lightning.
Who is it?
It's Butch. I'm sorry about the door. Butch will set the door down. The general's requested your presence, Elric, and you've got the book. Oh, hi, other wizard.
Anisra, you have met my compatriot Butch.
I have. Thank you.
Out of character, are they dressed or in bed or under covers or
Elric?
Yeah,
eating breakfast?
let's get it.
What do I see when I go
Get
in?
it?
They're just
Nick,
staring at each other,
what is the
scribbling furious.
OnlyFans version of what we're looking at right now?
Subscribe to the
Actually,
Patreon and you
Subscribe
can
to
find
the Patreon. and
I
you can-
swear to God.
You just need to do the air horn or whatever over certain parts of it. That's the OnlyFans.
Yeah. Elric,
Honestly,
what in
She just
it is-
wants him to stealth. So she
It is
can get
getting
the
close to
half
noon at this point. Where,
We are,
without too
Dressed?
much detail.
but we might have been kissing intensely before being interrupted.
Fantastic.
Door being ripped off the hinges.
Okay.
Who is on whose lap? That's my
Oh my
question.
god.
No, it's not.
Nope. Okay,
What's it smell
moving
like in there,
forward.
Let
Butch?
the audience decide
Moving forward.
in their own
It
head.
smells
Anyway.
like elf.
We are going
Like
to.
Did you know that elves don't have they don't have a season of heat, which is a thing.
Please.
We,
That they-
we're
they
Tell
going
me
just
Butch
don't.
has just started
No.
talking about this in the doorway to
Butch,
Anisra
Butch,
and Howard.
Butch,
What about Panfar?
You're not there.
for the love of God, Butch,
Oh.
I will catch up with you.
Hey, Butch, are they rubbing each other's fingers? Like?
You are not there.
You're not there. Butch, you're here.
Yeah,
Thank you for letting me know.
Yeah, but the door.
Yeah.
Oh. The general's requested your presence.
Sometimes when we
So
touch,
I
the
maybe
Odyssey's
she just
too
needs your
much.
books.
Butch,
Are they making
Butch, put the door
pottery?
down. Butch, just please put the door down.
I put the door on the ground.
Thank you. I'll catch up to you in just a moment.
I will turn around so that only my shell is facing them.
Oh my god.
I love that your like go away is like a magical. It's very magical. Like
Anisra kind of looks at you and says, "You should probably go.
Yes, I should.
I will see you later, I'm sure."
Your fancy fingers will not make me go away.
Yes, you will. Okay, Butch, let's go.
No. You take your time. It's just the general of the whole army.
I swear. I'm about to swear to Sahanine. Please start walking.
There's a
All right,
baby.
I will.
I then, after giving Anisra a wink and a smile, I will then also follow Butch.
It's very easy to catch up with me as I can mimic a turtle very well.
Oh
They're
my
really quick
god.
with that baby making. Suddenly one appears.
Shit. So you
The
guys,
true reason behind the bad stealth rolls.
yeah.
Oh my god. You're terrible.
Should have cast shield before you started. Look what you created.
That's not how that. You know what? We're going to move on.
You guys make your way back to the central citadel, the central keep, and up into the war room. And you see, by the time you guys get there, you see that the general has provided a small lunch spread for everybody, some charcuterie boards and some
yeah,
dark red wine.
yes.
You see Rhett and Gwen, I'm sure, enjoying
We
themselves.
fist bump. We fist bump and then start enjoying.
As the two of you walk in, Calliope looks up and says, we are all here now.
Yes, concentration successfully broken.
Fantastic.
What is the situation?
Well, for once, I'm actually bringing you here for good news. Looks like, even though you guys just went through a terrible loss, a trip to hell, and a successful trip to hell, kind of motioning over towards Gwen, it looks like your main mission was at least partially a success. We received intel that close to 80% of the forces stationed at Sochev fell ill and have either perished or are on death's door.
That is a success.
So, we, for the first time in a very long time in this war, have a reason to celebrate. We took back Kvachliev, and then you single-handedly took out almost 80% of their forces, their invasion force.
So it was a slow-acting dysentery type poison.
It appears to
Which
be,
is
yes.
revenge.
That was our raccoon ops, right?
Yeah,
I'm just putting the pieces together.
I guess I didn't find them barrel pieces.
You
in
do
the well.
see, in with the group, I forgot to mention, Hymir is in the room as well.
In the room where it happened.
So,
It sounds like we've gained a lot of ground.
congratulations. So I cannot begin to tell you what a monumental advantage this gives us. I mean, that was almost their entire invasion force.
We're not on the back foot anymore, finally.
Glad to help.
Looking at Gwen, says, I do not want to minimize what you have gone through. And clearly this was by far from a complete success. However, your personal experience aside, we could not ask for a better military victory.
I have no problem with that.
To which Rain just kind of like reached over and put their hand on yours while the general was talking.
Just as discreetly as possible, squeezing as hard as possible.
Fair enough.
Like acting like it's fine. It's
So, it looks like for once we have an advantage. There's quite a few things that need to happen before we can actually say we have any kind of upper hand in this war. We are still, while this was a pretty significant blow, we still have a lot of ground to make up. And we are anywhere but at an advantage.
I suppose you have an idea of what to do next.
Yeah, what do you need from us?
I mean, there's... The real question I had actually was... The members of your team here seem to have had prophetic dreams that helped us in some ways, whether it be from your deities or whomever. I would just say, if there's anything else that comes along, let us know, because at this point, to be honest, I don't really have a next step for your team. My ear is to the ground, my forces are out, my network is looking for weaknesses and exploits that I can send you on, but as of right now, I don't have a specific mission yet.
Are the other high-ranking officers still in the room?
Actually, at this point, during the time that Butch left and Butch and Elric came back, the other members have weeded themselves out. So it's literally, at this point, it's your team, Calliope, Rain, and Hymir in this room.
In general, should we address the elephant in the room based on your conversation with Elric yesterday?
Casil, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Did you make contact?
She pauses for a minute. I had never thought to try and reach out to my brother before. I was under the assumption he died 15 years or so ago. This morning when I woke up, the first thing I did was focus on him. I sent a message to Casil. All I said was, Is it really you? Are you really there? She kind of pauses for a minute, kind of stares off into the distance. And I heard a voice back in my head, a voice I have not heard for almost half of my life.
A long time.
A long time. Unless this being has some sort of way of manipulating spells sent from other people, I got a response from my brother. He is telling the truth. That is Casil. And even after you said you left a doorway open, somehow he is still alive.
Hopefully they had the good sense to close it.
The
Bleeding Heart is resourceful.
Indeed. He did mention that they had abandoned that outpost and found a different hideout. Before you all arrived, I was actually working with some of my other advisors on the way to potentially cross over and get him back.
We could always help with that, or we've got a couple of dream paths.
I know it's kind of my job to tell you all what to do, but you just went through literal hell. I would not ask you to do that again, at least not this quickly.
I mean, you always remember your first time, but it never gets any easier.
The amulet does take 1 week.
And unfortunately, we do not have a tuning fork to this. So
There might be one in Stygia.
Sigil?
Sigil?
Sigil. So, there's probably one in Stygia too, but I meant
It's
Sigil.
possible.
General,
Yes.
you may want to assign some people to keep an eye on water supplies where everyone is stationed. I had a nightmarish vision of hordes of mind flayers. I believe that's something that can be achieved by Alric. What was it? What was it called? Something
Cool.
Genesis.
Yeah. Oh, you mean Ceramorphosis?
Yeah. They put tadpoles in the water and then they can transform sentient beings into more mind flayers. So
So that's not like Orpheus's like second cousin or anything.
Tadpoles?
No, Ceramorphosis.
Oh my god.
That's what Elric just caught in the bedroom.
I swear to God.
I keep wanting to call it Sega Genesis.
This one we're starting to trust this guy.
At some point, I'm going to learn Cone of Silence. All of you.
God, please.
Uh,
Just want to go in there and scream.
Is that like the cone of shame?
A thing can be two things.
There it is.
That should be our motto whenever we find out a team name.
Thought we were gonna be Fiat with a silent H.
Piot.
FHEA.
I'm still campaigning for Demon's Bane. Either that or, I don't know, Conticaria's
Sneaky cheats?
commandos.
Pretty
We
sure
are
Demon's Bane is
we
a
are
flower.
never doing sneaky cheats. Do you understand me?
See, you say
I
that.
still vote sneaky cheeks,
Oh
but
my
the
God.
problem is if you say like Conticaria's commandos, I just assume that means that we all no longer wear undergarments beneath
Did we ever?
our
That's the
armor.
mystery. I guess.
Yeah.
Got pendulum cheeks here.
I'm
'Cause
very
we're
worried about the water supply.
balling. Just constant free balling.
General, is it too late to reassign me?
Unfortunately,
Yup.
too late to reassign me too.
If we're gonna vote, I
Now,
would
Hey,
We should all wear
You
kilts.
miss
naming
us if we were
conventions aside,
gone.
naming
nominate It Burns When We Flee again.
Oh,
Yep.
you all can figure out your naming conventions at your own time. Is there anything else to report during your time?
I believe we should move on our worries about the dragon.
Well, that's where we were headed next.
Well, that dovetails nicely.
That would be a decent option for you. I believe that if this prophetic dream of yours about the Illithid invasion, does that tie into the dragon?
Well, they both appeared in the same vision, so
It seems like either you had a really shitty dream or someone is trying to tell you something.
it was very awful. Yes,
A thing can be two things.
quite visceral.
Going the branding already. Like it.
To which Hymir kind of leans forward and says, Darkwater's disappearance is definitely a concern, and it leaves Mesh vulnerable. General, I know that Mesh is not your top priority, seeing as how you are not a native or a resident of Mesh. However, we can all agree that what is bad for one of our nations is bad for all of them. So, Conticaria and Mesh have a long-standing alliance, and my forces have been here to assist yours for quite a while. So I would ask for this assistance in the matter as well, if this is indeed what the team thinks is the next prudent course of action. To which the general agrees and says, this is what you all have more than proven that you are savvy enough to come up with your own plans. So if this is what you decide you want to go with, I will support you.
Out of character, is there like anything you can do to mitigate mind flayers? Like, can you wear a helmet, protect the brain? Like,
You would not know that information. To which
You want to ask in character?
Yeah.
you're muted. Chris.
is there any kind of armor or anything, helmets, any kind of protection we can invest in now to prevent any mind flayer issues in the future?
None that I am aware of, but I will put out some feelers and see if there's anyone around that has any information about mitigating mind flayer attacks.
I mean, short of getting everyone a ring of mind shielding. But
Yeah,
those
that's
are probably rare.
Orpheus. I'm not sure how much information you have on mind flayers, but it's their attacks on the mind that makes conventional helmets essentially useless. If they have you mentally stunned for long enough, they will just remove the helmet and eat the brain. if we could do something to better shield our minds or the minds of our soldiers, that might go a long way.
We will look into that. However, we have more pressing matters to attend to at this point. I believe you all were planning on informing me of what you saw, what you experienced while on your mission. I believe the general should be made aware of this as well. Gwen,
You're not
again,
getting any silly ideas, are you, General?
Gwen, again, if you do not want to be part of this, feel free to leave the room. I completely would understand. As same goes to you, Rain, if you do not want to be present. She's like, shit, I was there.
I want to know. I think.
And to the general looks at you, Orpheus, and says, what kind of silly ideas are you talking about?
Well, it's clear you were close to this brother of yours. I would hope you're not considering some kind of unadvisable solo mission.
I can guarantee you that no matter how badly I want to go down there and find my brother and bring him back, first off, I do not have the means of transportation down there, so unfortunately that is not an option. And second off, I am still within my wits enough to know that a single tiefling, while may go unnoticed in this, would not be beneficial to the mission and extracting my brother.
Well, as a person who's led soldiers into battle before, I know the hesitation you may have with relying on your soldiers and your allies. Just know we're here for you.
And it is possible that I might ask for your team specifically to assist me in that mission, but it has been 16 years, 15 years. If it has to, he has survived this long down there. He can survive a few more days or weeks if needs be.
Orpheus nods.
I am more interested in your report at this point. Because, again, it could assist me in coming up with a plan for rescuing my brother.
Elric steps forward and pulls from the book that he uses to document all of our exploits, and just tears that out and hands it over.
So are you just providing the report, or are any of you explaining what you saw?
I'm gonna look. If no one's gonna explain it, I want to look at it first.
I will start to explain.
I'm gonna try
As
to steal
he-
the book if nobody does.
Oh my god.
I didn't just tell me. Reach out.
Our journey to Dis was, of course, not without complications. The amulet being what it is, we didn't end up directly in Dis. We ended up in, let's see, no, I have it written down here somewhere. Maladomini. It took us some time to figure out how to trek from there directly to Dis. But once we finally did, what we found when we got there was an absolute nightmare of architecture. An ever-changing city, magically reconstructing and folding in on itself at the behest of the paranoid Dispater. How we came across your brother was a miracle unto itself. We were nearly caught several times. But once we did find him, and he led us to the latest hiding spot for the Bleeding Heart. Overnight, literally out of nowhere, taking up a good portion of one of the rooms was a wall that, fortunately for us, was literally one of the walls to that jail, that prison. Inside, we found quite a few things, most of which, according to Arnon, seemed to be just souls, trapped. Most likely imprisoned for whatever it would be that would condemn you to that level of hell. But we eventually found the soul of Gwen. Unfortunately, we were able to leave that plane before being annihilated by a pit fiend. Thanks once again to this amulet. This thing's been as much a blessing as it is a curse.
Ironic that the gift from
Curse.
Tivlis is the one that saved you.
Ironic indeed.
So, you found Gwen in this prison. By what means was... He kind of pauses for a second. In what fashion was her imprisonment? Was she... You mentioned souls. Were they just... I can't imagine a soul in hell, in a prison in hell, being a very pleasant experience.
I just tried to free a bunch of them, and they just stayed in their cells.
Add that to the list of miracles that we were able to accomplish with Gwen.
And what of Gwen?
When we found her, she was a small child.
His gaze looks intently at you.
A small child with something hiding in one of the corners.
He crosses his arms.
We thought it might have been something that was keeping her there, something that might have been attacking her. We tried to get rid of it, but she yelled and pleaded for us to leave it alone.
His hand reaches up as he starts to stroke his chin.
But then something else happened.
I'll describe the room for him, see if it sounds familiar.
Please.
He just nods. Continue, please.
That was paraphrasing. I'm not actually going to describe the room.
Yeah.
Right. No, I
my
know that. Clearly.
What happened next was materializing seemingly from nothing. A mind flayer showed up and seemed to be on the brink of doing to this child like Gwen what they had done to her as an adult. Before it could finish, the scene reset, as if to repeat once more.
So in this prison, the Mind Flayer attacked Gwen.
No. It attacked a older version of Gwen, which then fell to the floor in the area she was protecting earlier.
He looks up. He looks at you, Gwen. Stunned silence. How could she remember that?
What? And don't talk about me like I'm not here.
I apologize. You... He takes a step back. He turns. A minute passes. You don't remember.
I don't remember any of this.
Gwen, I'm going to tell you something, and I'm going to ask for your patience. And let me get through this without any kind of emotional reaction, because I'm sure that what I'm about to tell you is going to cause quite a bit, but you need to hear the whole thing. He takes a big, deep breath, looks up again and says, I lied to you about your mother. She did not die from some uncurable disease. The truth was, she was secretly an agent of Shan.
Is he saying this in common?
He is. He's saying
to
this
everyone?
to everyone in the room. What her true mission was, I do not know, but after years of her being with me, after our marriage, after your birth, one day I was called on a mission. I was gone for a few days, and when I came back, she was gone. The only thing left were you and this. And he pulls out from a small pocket this yellowed, tattered crinkled up, extremely old notes. That was the last I saw of her. Clearly, she did not account for what becoming a mother would do to her. A few years passed, then one night, I heard a loud bang come from your room. I wandered over, assuming that you were just getting into things when you should be sleeping, which was common. I opened the door to find your mother leaping out of the window. I tried to catch her, but she was always way too fast and knew how to hide. I later found out that she would sneak into your room a few times a year, whenever she could sneak into Mesh. This happened for years until one night when you were around 10. Again, I heard a crash in your room, much louder. And then I heard you scream. I ran into your room right as her body collapsed on the floor. The Mind Flayer turned towards you. I summoned the Guardian Fae of our family and commanded him to get you to safety. Right as he says that, you get this flash in your head, this suppressed memory coming to the surface of being extremely small and looking up and seeing Rusty lift you up and dash out the room. Your mother must have gotten some good hits on the Mind Flayer because I only needed to hit it with one spell before it collapsed. I took your mother's body to a temple of Sehanin. The clerics there performed the rejuvenation ritual and brought her back. She told me that the Mind Flayer was sent by Shan because they thought she had turned on them. She said they apparently followed her and found she was making regular trips to Mesh. That was the last time I actually saw her. She said she needed to make right whatever was going on now that they thought she was dead. I have not seen or heard from her since she kind of motions over to Butch.
Yeah.
Until what you told me a few nights ago.
What'd you tell him a few nights ago, Butch?
Butch, it was a hard night for Butch. We've all actually met your mother. Your mother's the assassin that attacked us in the woods. And she saw our battle with Titivolus and reached out to Butch later. And it was a very hard moment for him. Sure he can tell you more, but I mean, he came to me for support, if that means anything. It tells you anything about how hard of a night it was.
I guess I'm learning that she's alive. And that... Did you... I'm not... Oh. Looking at Hymir, did you make me forget?
You have to understand, it was not...
Did you make me forget?
You asked me to.
As a child?
You It was weeks of you screaming into the nights before you begged me to help you forget. It was weeks of nightmares, of unconsolable torment before you came to me and begged me to help you, asked me to make you forget.
Where is she now?
I do not know.
Take over if you're okay, Butch, but it sounds like nobody in Shan really knew who they were working for.
No.
She
And
was
Gwen, your mother told me that she has recognized she's chosen the wrong side and I think she's trying to find a way out.
Okay.
I've found her to be quite sincere.
She said she didn't know who she was attacking in the woods that day. Isn't that right, Butch?
Yeah, it was quite fortuitous that she saw your face.
Suppose that explains that.
You saw her when we were leaving, right?
I caught a glimpse of her. I'm certain that it was her that I saw as we left, because she looked right at me.
I need to. Okay. Okay.
So yeah,
Is there anything else I have to worry about popping up later? Other than a mom that wasn't dead, or was dead for a moment, and isn't that fortuitous? Ironic. Who might just be out there somewhere, and a former patron that's actually prime evil, and apparently memory modifications. Is that everything? Did I get it all?
Hymir just kind of slightly nods a little bit and says, again, you have to understand what I did was by your command. And it was not done lightly. You watched your mother die practically to save you in front of you in one of the most brutal ways I could imagine. One that you know all too well.
Sorry, so was Gwen aware that Mom was coming and visiting every once in a while, or she just stood there and watched her?
You were aware at the time. You did your best to keep it a secret from me, as your mother asked, but unfortunately, when we had to erase those memories, we had to erase any memory of her. It was all connected.
Oh, it's awful.
Why didn't you? You didn't even tell me about Rust.
I knew that was something that you had to come into in your own, as your prevalence for putting aside any of our family traditions, as it were, in your younger years. I knew if you knew that Ventress, as I knew him, was not of your own creation, that you would not trust him as well as you do now.
What's the general doing through all this?
Just fucking staring at both of you, just kind of like the audience of a fucking Jerry Springer show, just like
Like, what the fuck?
R.I.P. Jerry
I mean,
Springer.
she's jumping up and dog woofing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
R.I.P. Jerry
loudly
Springer.
eating crackers and slurping wine like an asshole.
Oh no!
Box wine.
Yeah.
You
Take the bag out, slap
Yeah.
the bag. Go
Is there any
nuts.
other kind?
you feel
They slap the black bag.
Rain is like almost brutally gripping your hand.
It's squeezing right back.
We told you about the Roxasha, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
you did.
Okay.
Because that's something on your plate forever, right?
Yeah. Well, you asked if there was anything else, any other demons. I just want to make sure we told you about that.
We borrowed your magic staff. I think you knew that.
Yeah.
In Sylvan, to you,
Mm-hmm.
Hymir says, Gwen, I am so very sorry that all of this happened. I never meant to betray your trust. If there was another way, I would have done it.
Replying in Sylvan. This is just a lot. I'm not making any judgments yet. I think I need to figure it out.
To which, in Sylvan, you hear Rain say, you have a lot to take in right now. And I'm here if you need me. And I know it's not my place, but I believe your dad I honestly think he was trying to protect you. And on that note, we are going to pick up next week.
Holy shit!
So,
Info dump.
yeah,
Info dump for Gwen.
we all have a lot to process after that one. So, we will see you next week at Tuesday. Oh, shit. No, we won't. Guys, I need to talk to you about something, but we're probably going to have to take next week off because I've got an event with my kid's school that I completely forgot about. So, probably going to have to take next week off. So, we will see you in 2 weeks on Tuesday. So, thank you all for sticking with us. We'll update for sure on the Facebooks and everything, but probably next week off. We will see you in 2 weeks.
Like, subscribe.
Subscribe.
Patreon / those natural ones.
Indeed.
And hopefully we will roll.
We will roll.
Maybe we will roll. Maybe more, maybe less natural ones. We'll see. We'll play by ear.
Remember, don't drink the tadpoles.
That's right.
Don't drink
don't.
it. Don't put your
water.
ear near it. Just
Tad water.
you gotta not do it, man.
Don't.
Thank you all. We'll talk to you soon. We'll see you next week.